Story time. So, as some of you already know, I had to go repo one of my vehicles. And man, this was a pretty interesting situation. The irony of all this turns out completely my fault. This kid uploaded an ID and not a driver's license. I don't know how I didn't catch that, but I didn't catch it. I've caught so many IDs, in fact, that even my representative was like, I don't know how you missed that. And I think I just missed it because I have a lot of trips. I verify a lot of IDs. I catch a lot of things, like misspelled names, birthdays are wrong, that person doesn't look like that person in the ID. There's a lot of stuff that I catch all the time. And I got so used to just looking for these key things that I guess I just didn't direct my attention to the top corner to see that it said driver's license. I've seen some wild IDs, out of state, out of country IDs. My bad. But since it was my first offense, it's been my first ever anything with Turo, anything remotely close to this, they pretty much just let me go with a verbal warning, like, hey, we're gonna give you a warning. As long as you don't make a pattern of this, you'll be good. But because you've never done anything like this before, even if something happens, you're still gonna be covered. We got you, you're insured, you'll be fine, we got your back. So shout out to Turo for that. But now for the nitty gritty and the fuckery. So it all started, this kid booked the car, he came up, vibes are off immediately. Quiet, not very talkative. People talk to me a lot because I do things that no other host does. So when I give my whole, first off, I'm here. That's for starters. And then I give a presentation of the car. There's like all types of amenities. It's truly an experience instead of just a rental car. Kid rolled up kind of deep, a little bit of posse with him, and everybody's kind of quiet. But hey, you know, some people just don't like to talk. Some people had a long day. They actually looked like they had a long day. So I didn't think nothing of it, but I definitely annotated it up here. And then the games begin. So this kid starts driving, everything's good. All of a sudden, this kid starts hitting some triple digits. He's hitting like 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. I have to send him a message to slow down. He responds to it and says, okay. But lo and behold, he just does it again. So I send them a little bit more in depth of a message, like, you know, hey, I got an alert. If you watch my other videos, it's an alert at such and such place, at such and such time, at such and such speed. Then he was like, oh, my bad, bro. I'm sorry. I'll slow it down. And I immediately reached out to support because I just already knew. And support said, okay, blah, blah. We're going to reach out to him. If he does it again after 1 hour, let us know. And we'll escalate this to trust and safety, etc., etc. And yeah, he does it again, 104 miles an hour. Now this is like my little tiny Toyota, mind you, and I'll post a picture of it here in just a second. So this is Brandy. Look at this tiny little car. Like, this guy's wilding out. You have no business doing 100, 101, 104 in this little tiny Toyota. Bro, you bugging out. So trust and safety gets involved. They message him again, tell him like, yo, you need to cut it out or we're gonna locate, you need to cut it out or we're going to notify the authorities, have you return the vehicle. Just kind of throwing it out there to get the kid to like snap to his senses. Now by this time, his trip's supposed to be over relatively soon. I'm looking and this kid is all the way in Michigan and his trip is supposed to end like early the next day, and I'm already knowing like, yeah, this kid ain't making it back. And he don't give a fuck about me. He don't give a fuck about customer support. He's clearly not gonna stop speeding. So like, fuck this kid. I'm not letting him extend. So I didn't. And when the time came, he asked if he can extend. As a matter of fact, he waited. Now that I think about it, he didn't even extend. He just waited till the trip was over. And then asked if he could extend, and I told him, you know, I'm sorry, but you can't. Customer support already notified him. They gave him 24 hours to return the vehicle, so there's nothing I could do, boss. Sorry. And then it was, please, sir, I'm so sorry. It was my grandmother's funeral. You know, a lot of BS and a lot of pleases and switching up that attitude real quick, right? But ultimately, I stuck to my guns and said, hey, I'm sorry, sir. There's nothing I can do. Customer support already, trust and safety already give you 24 hours. So you have plenty of time. You have till 10 o'clock tomorrow, the next day. He's like, please, I don't need the police notified. I'll have the vehicle to you, I promise. And of course, he didn't. 9:30 hits the next day, a half hour before the 24-hour mark. He marks the trip as complete. And I pull up the GPS, he's still in Flint, Michigan. So I messaged him, I said, hey, just because you marked the trip as complete doesn't mean that you won't be charged for the entire time you have the vehicle. You are going to continue to be charged until the vehicle is actually in my possession. Oh, I'm sorry, boss. Just I'll have the vehicle to you by tonight, I promise. And I already know at this point I'm not getting this vehicle back. So I had a talk with the wife and told her, hey, I think I'm gonna go hire somebody to roll with me and go repo this car all the way in Michigan. Because like he don't care about me, he don't care about trust and safety. They threatened him with the authorities. I don't think I'm getting this car back unless I go get it. And ultimately, yeah, I was 100% correct. However, the wife had a good idea. She said, you know, the Great Lakes has been on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go to the Great Lakes. I have the next 2 days off. Why don't we just take a little family vacation? And I said, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's go. So we packed up a suitcase for us, packed up some stuff for my son, and we drove out there. Now, I don't recommend this. All right, so like when you pull up the GPS, we were able to see where he was. All right, he's in Flint, Michigan. I mean, there's really no nice places in Flint, Michigan, but he was in some of the bad places in Flint, Michigan, and all his areas he was going to. All right, you know, but still, I went and I protected myself. All right, I'm well trained, locked, loaded, extra mags, one in the chamber. The safety is on the trigger. I'm quick draw McGraw on this bitch. Now again, I don't recommend anybody do this. I am very well trained. Okay? 5 years airborne infantry. I used to jump out of airplanes with a machine gun. I've been very, very, very well trained by the United States government to close with and destroy the enemy in impossible situations. But ultimately, you're playing with fire. Almost literally. So again, I don't encourage anybody to do it. But I did. We broke out, and thanks to the United States government, I'm trained where I can stay out past 24 hours and get until the mission is done. So we took this car. We took this electric car we're in right now. This is Lyric. We took this and I just straight through. I had to stop for charging and food and potty breaks, but straight through. And it worked out to my benefit. About halfway there, we get a call from now the person who's handling this case, and we told him what was going on, and he said, whoa, hang on. He's like, I want to discourage you from doing that. He goes, we can see stuff that you can't see. He couldn't go into depth, but he could beat around the bush so I could figure it out. So basically, what he was implying was that he can see this kid's criminal record. And he could see that this kid had a history of not only stealing vehicles, but violence. Pew violence. Real violence. And, all right, like, I was a YN at 1.2. I was young at 1.2. You know, and I know how to maneuver. Yes, I have my family with me, but we're going to make sure my family's away when it comes to actually taking the vehicle. I didn't tell him any of this because I didn't need to, but I told him we're cool. We're making a trip out of this. He was blown away by our attitude about this. He was like, you guys have a great attitude about this. I love this, but we are going to try to get him to surrender the vehicle peacefully because he's not going to, essentially. He said it without saying it. I also asked if I could share the GPS with him, which I was able to do. I didn't even know I could do that until then, so that's pretty cool. So I was able to share the GPS, and I could say, hey, share it for a specific time, a day, 2 days, a week, whatever. So that was actually pretty cool now that I know that I have that option. That's really dope, actually. And he said basically just to let him know if he doesn't catch it, if the vehicle parks for more than a half hour and he doesn't say anything, to give him a message, and they'll pretty much execute a tow truck to come repo it, put it in a safe location to where I can go recover the vehicle safely. Now again, awesome. Go Toro. So for a split second, I thought about it. I was like, ah, shit, maybe we should just pull over here. We're like halfway there. Maybe we should just pull over wherever. Like wherever we're at now, we've never been here. We can still find something cool to do. And before I even looked over my wife and said, I said, oh, hang on. I was like, I just realized this guy's an employee. He has a shift. Okay? So when they finally stop in the wee hours of the morning, I can message him all goddamn night. He ain't gonna pick up. He's not in his office. He's at home. He's in bed. He's knocked out. So what are you gonna do for me? Nothing. You're gonna try to repo the vehicle in the most dangerous times to try to repo the vehicle. You're never gonna repo that vehicle. So I made the executive decision just to keep fucking doing what the hell I was doing. So we kept heading out, and timing worked out perfect. 5:30 in the morning is when we got there. Ain't nobody awake or just going to sleep at 5:30. Ain't nothing happening at 05:30. All right. Only like military dudes are doing, are up, or like the smart criminal military dudes are up doing stuff at 0. You know what I mean? 5:30 in the morning, ain't nothing going on. So it was picture perfect scenario. They had it parked at the end of a cul-de-sac. Just to rewind a little bit, other places he had the vehicle parked were abandoned lots. So, all right, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. But he had it parked at the end of this cul-de-sac, and it looked like they actually lived, really close by. And they had it backed in so they could make a nice, nice getaway. And the keys were in the fucking car.
Now, what I think they were trying to do here is hope that the car would get stolen, so that way it wouldn't fall on them. They could say, oh, the car was stolen, this, that, and the third wasn't us.
Now, I had my spare anyways, but the keys were in the car. But to rewind just a little bit, saw it, turned around, put some distance between my family and where the vehicle was, put a little pep in my step, had my keys, boop, boop, got in, started it, drove off. Car reeked like weed. The amount of weed smoke in this car was just
so as you can see here,
level.
The guest was trying to locate the GPS
level.
tracker.
I'm borderline impressed.
So they were really trying to steal this car. But as you see, they trashed this thing, man. They smoked all in through it. Garbage everywhere. These kids they didn't care.
But put some distance between us and where we picked up the vehicle, then pulled over, took all my photos, and then put some more distance just to be safe, because we wanted to get essentially out of the hood. So we went to the Great Lakes area, and that's where we ended up booking. We ended up booking a hotel through Hilton. Shout out to Hilton. I haven't paid for hotels in a very long time, because all my cards are Hilton cards. So I get bonus points, and all my reward points go to Hilton stays. So most of the time, unless I want to stay in something that's not Hilton, not paying. Shout out Hilton. Like, hell, I might even do a video about them. Maybe we could do some sort of partnership in the future. But booked the place. It was beautiful, and we just made a family trip out of it. Now when it was all said and done, yes, he basically paid for my trip. So the guy was clear. He was like, hey man, I can only get you another $250, so this trip isn't going to be worth it. But it was worth it. It was worth it because by the time, first off, once they report the cars like he's not bringing it back, Turo could only charge the guests 1 day. 1 extra day. That's it. Which is bullshit, but that's it. Now the other fees they could charge, those are kind of different. But they can only charge that 1 day, but they still can hit them with that late fee, improper return fee, gas reimbursement if needed, Uber reimbursement if needed, but the Uber reimbursement is only up to $50. So, if you're going from North Carolina all the way to Michigan, you might as well just drive. And then the fee that he was able to tack on for me having to go repo it was an extra $250. But because it was that fee, it was the late fee, it was the the late fee, improper return fee, the gas reimbursement plus the convenience fee of the gas reimbursement, a smoking fee, and he got me a cleaning fee. it ended up being an extra $725 and some change. So because I don't pay for my hotels anymore, he essentially funded that whole trip. To get there, back,
we actually
food,
had a fantastic time.
He essentially
Some of the
funded
best seafood I've
my
ever
little
had,
mini
and I've
family
been around
vacation.
the block.
So,
some of the most amazing views I've had. We asked the locals, hey, where do we go? They recommended us to the spots that they go, not where the tourists go. So we were able to see one of the Great Lakes almost alone. There was almost nobody there. Amazing ice cream, amazing food, amazing experience. I gotta thank the guest for being an asshole.
now, again, I made the right call. Truthfully, I did. Was it dangerous? Yes. But I made the right call. I executed at all the right times. I maneuvered with precision and just excellence. But I don't recommend you do this, because at the end of the day, this could have very well been a shootout. Yes, I got everything worked out beautifully for me. But I mean, what happened? What would have happened if it didn't? What would happen if, we got there at 5:30, everything looked good, I put some distance between me and the fam, put a little pep in my step to go repo my vehicle, and dudes were like camped out in the woods or something. Or they just happened to be coming out to try to go move the car because they thought it was going to get repoed. And now they're like, oh shit, and maybe they don't recognize me. Maybe they think I'm just some dude trying to steal the car. Or whatever. Or maybe they're like, fuck this guy because, he had the police call us and all this. Like, at the end of the day, yes, I am very well trained for this. But you know who wasn't very well trained for this? My wife and my son. Okay? They're not well trained for this. So while I can do things and sleep at night, they can't. So, if I end up in a firefight and, the person on the opposite side don't make it no more, I know how to react. I know how to maneuver. I know, unfortunately, I have to provide some first aid to this asshole unless he's just DOA. My shot is pretty good, so most likely. But my wife would be forever traumatized, even if she didn't really see everything that was going on. Just to hear the gunshots alone, that's gonna rock, it's gonna mess with her. My son would have remembered that for the rest of his life. So ultimately, I don't encourage anybody to do what I did. Did it work for me? Yes. Did it work well for me? Hell yeah. I got a whole vacation out of this. I got to see the Great Lakes. I got to eat at some of the best restaurants I've ever ate. I got mad stuff to add to my travel guide. I had a great time, all on his dime. But I still don't recommend it. But that's pretty much it. After that, we took our sweet time coming back. My wife isn't trained to stay up and do stuff like that, so she drove my other car, Brandy. She drove Brandy back. I took it, got it cleaned, and did my best with the weed smell. But I had to take it back to my place and have my guys do some work and run it through the machine and all that stuff. So it was a little rough, but she's much more comfortable driving the Toyota than the Cadillac. So, it is what it is. But we took our sweet time coming back. We stopped in Ohio. We stopped somewhere deep in North Carolina. And then we went home. And today is literally the next day. I got home yesterday. And I didn't even really have time to sleep. I had to immediately dive right back into work. I had more cars to deal with and more rentals to deal with. That same car that I repoed got booked a few hours later. So we came here to the car wash. I immediately pulled it in. We moved everything into the Cadillac. I ran the machine in that bitch for 2 hours, left the car on with the air going, and about 3.5 to 4 hours later, the vehicle was booked. So basically I had enough time to get here, take the machine out, do my best. It had already been running without the machine running for at least an hour. So the smell wasn't too strong as far as the smell from the machine. Took it to my guys through the car wash. They cleaned it real good, and I sprayed it with some Scentsy Scents. 5 hours later, total, from the time I parked the vehicle to the time I got the vehicle back to here, to the lady walking away with the car, done. that same day, I had to go to the airport twice to pick up 2 vehicles. Like, it was a busy day. But if I didn't go repo that vehicle, it wouldn't have been able to go book. And the lady who rented it, nice lady, she's talking to me right now. Literally, as I'm making this video, she's extending her trip. So, yeah, I totally made the right call. I don't encourage anybody to do this. This was dangerous. I am very well trained for danger. My family, on the other hand, isn't. But I'm also trained to protect. At the end of the day, I don't encourage anybody to do this. Yes, I made the right call. Yes, I got an awesome family vacation out of it. Yes, I got the vehicle back. Yes, I didn't pay almost a dime for that vacation. Yes, because I was able to get the vehicle back in such a timely manner, I was able to get the vehicle right back out and rent it again. Like, everything worked out for me. But I don't encourage it. As always, I'm your power host, Craig, and I hope I can provide a better experience.